In the last lecture, we did the index function. In this lecture, let's look at the match function. So think of match as the opposite of index. So if you recall in index, we had the position number and we wanted to find out the value that existed in that position. Here we want to do the exact opposite, which means that we know the value. So we know the IDs, but we want to go back and find out what is the position number of these IDs, which means that DP119 should be the first customer, MB114 would be the third customer, and then you get the drift, right? AJ117 will be 4, and then MM116 will be 8. To do this, we write equal to match. The lookup value is the ID. The lookup array is only one column. So unlike index, we can't choose multiple columns here, and we also don't need to. So we can just choose one column here. And then we have an option called the match type. Now here we have three options: less than, exact, and greater than. But because we want to choose a specific ID, we choose exact match. And as you can see, it tells us that DP119 is the second position, which clearly is not correct because we want to exclude ID. So like we had done earlier, we simply want to make sure that after the result is found, we have done a -1 to make sure that we have offset that one header that we had. And when I drag it down, you notice it tells me that these four IDs are position number 1, 3, 4, and 8. So just think about it for a minute. Index use the position number to give us a result. Match is doing exactly the opposite. In match, we already know the result, but we need to find out what is the position number of that result. So if I'm able to combine both of these, you will notice, just watch this. If I say equal to index, and let's say I'm just choosing three values here. Let's say DP119, PO112, and MB114. It says the row number, right? Now, the row number that I want is a match of, let's say, PO112 in the lookup array, which is again B4 to B6, and the match type is exact, and column number 1. Now you notice it returns the same result to us. So think about what is happening. First, the match went to B4, B5, B6, and it found out that PO112 is the second row. Now, when I provide the second row to B4 to B6, it actually goes back and tells me that PO112 is the value inside those three cells, and that is the second position. So if you notice, it is actually doing the reverse for me. So if I write PO112 here, and I simply select that cell, you notice that using a combination of index and match, let me just put that below so that it becomes a little clearer. You notice that it is doing the opposite. So if I say I want to search for DP119, it shows me DP119. If I say I want TS221, it tells me, hold on. Oh, I'm sorry, I haven't selected those cells. But if I choose, let's say, MB114, it tells me MB114. So they're essentially canceling each other. So the match is telling me that the position of MB114 is 3. And when I provide 3 to my index, it tells me that the third position in my index array is MB114. Again, you might be wondering at this stage, but why would you want to do this? Now, this is just an illustrative example. You're not really supposed to use index match like this, but this was just to show you that index and match are not different functions. They are sister functions, which means that they essentially do the opposite of each other, and both of them have their own advantages.